What's your secret that could literally ruin your life if it came out? I never finished high school, but due to a clerical error, it appears as if I did. No one can know this. I didn't have enough credits to pass high school. I asked my counselor many times if I was going pass. She would always say yes. I ended up passing about 2-3 credits short of what was required. Still don't understand what that was about. I told my best friend's boyfriend to go look for her during a party once when I knew she was cheating with some other guy. He deserved to know. But that would easily ruin our 20-year friendship if she ever found out. But no one deserves to be cheated on, ever. No longer the case. But a few years ago I faked qualifications to get a job. I had applied to 30+ positions within a few months and nobody was biting. Without that job I would have been out on the street and heavily in debt. It may seem minor, but I think my girlfriend's grandmother's cooking is bad at worst and bland at best. Nothing is seasoned ever. For her family it is the tops of cooking. I just want some ducking salt. Didn't ruin my life, but killed a lot of my dreams. I've gone through depression and they always ask you, have you ever thought of suicide? Look, trap an animal in a box and it'll want to get out. Give it any sort of intelligence and it'll try to game the system to find other means out than physical. Regardless, military found out that I had gone through therapy and further answered that question. As a result I can't join the military as an officer. Lots of friends are doing stuff like flying aircraft, learning languages, tracking satellites, and playing around ICBMs. I'm finishing up college, and I'm trying to find a job. Irony to all of this is I started the Suicide Prevention and Awareness program at my college's ROTC battalion. I went through campus therapy because I didn't want to be a hypocrite. All in all, I found the military to be largely hypocritical in the end. I have a secret lair at work that I secretly hide all of the best office supplies in. Only I have access to it. There's this wardrobe I pass by on my way to work. Just an old wardrobe that somebody has dumped on a bit of spare ground at the side of the road. Sometimes I get in it. Sometimes it's for 10 minutes. Sometimes it's for 10 hours. Last Friday I told my wife I'd be away on business all weekend. But I was really in the wardrobe the whole time, laughing my ducking head off. I'm the reason my mom's beloved dog is dead. The only person who knows this is my ex. We had dated for 6 months, and then we had to take a break. I wasn't supposed to be seeing him, but decided to one night anyway. I snuck out to see him and everything was fine. I was walking back home, and I saw a giant dead squirrel in the middle of the road. I got into my house and started playing Call of Duty. After about a half hour, I realized I hadn't seen my dog in a while, which was unusual because she always runs up to me. I couldn't find her in the house and stopped dead in my tracks and remembered seeing what I thought was a gigantic squirrel. I took off running outside to where I saw it, and I realized it was my mom's dog. She wasn't in the middle of the road anymore. Someone had moved her to the sidewalk. I broke down crying. I couldn't believe that I had left the gate open. When I left I was the one who got her killed. My mom absolutely loved her. She followed my mom around everywhere and was always by her side. I stood at the road and called my mom who was out of state, and I was crying my heart out. I kept saying I was so sorry, and she told me it wasn't my fault, so I shouldn't be. I started crying more then, and she was trying so hard to calm me down. And I felt bad, because she didn't know that it really was my fault. I couldn't pick her up and bring her home, because I couldn't touch her. Someone driving by stopped and helped me get her home. That was a really hard time. My mom and family assume that she had a heart attack or something, since I found her on the side of the road. I can't tell them that I saw her in the middle of the road 30 minutes prior. I know that someone really had hit her. My mom was crying for weeks. It took her half a year just to be able to look at pictures of her again, or to mention her without crying. I feel so awful for it, and could never tell her the truth. When I was a troubled teen, I used to wait till my grandparents went to bed early and I would raid their medicine cabinet. Ambien, antidepressants, heart meds, you name it. I was young and extremely troubled person at the time, and has taken me years to overcome what I've done and overcome pill popping. Don't get me wrong, I love my grandparents dearly. I was hanging out with a bad crowd, so at parties with our friends we would put Ambien in each other's drinks. There was this one time where a classmate went through my bag and took 5 Ambien. After I realized what happened, I carried her home and left her on her doorstep. She ended up getting her stomach pump and acted like nothing happened the next day. I don't have secrets. I merely have things that never come up in conversation. And for some reason the conversation always changes topics suddenly whenever they're about to come up. When I was 15, I was curious if my boobs look normal, so I Google searched women's breast and what do women's breast look like. My mom saw it on the history and I let my brother get blamed. Everyone still thinks he was looking for pee right now. He genuinely thinks someone used our internet and that's why it's there. Truth is, I'm a bad big sister. LOL. I don't know about ruin my life, but sometimes people think I'm someone I'm not, and I just go along with it. For example, my neighbor thinks me and my dad are the same person, and the guy at my local convenience store thinks I'm Arab, while one of my co-workers thinks I'm Dominican. In reality I'm Punjabi, but sometimes I don't feel like explaining shit and just fill in the blanks when they speak a different language to me and pretend like I understand. I'm pretty sure I'm a sociopath. Not exactly something I can tell people. No one wants to associate with a person that doesn't have empathy. Pee right now. Nothing illegal, but I'm into weird things, like women farting. Worse. I stalked my Spanish teacher's house in high school. I'm gonna go ahead and post this on a throwaway. I dated a guy who ended up cheating on me with at least 2 other girls I work with. None of us knew about the other as far as I know. He left me for one of the girls, and I kept sleeping with him for about 4.5 months after. I rationalized it because she was cheating on him too. Stupid on my part, and I regret it. His girlfriend and I still work together. If our co-workers found out, I probably wouldn't have any more work friends. Everyone thinks I'm super sweet and likes more than her for the most part. I also know my current boyfriend would think less of me if he knew about it. I met him after I stopped sleeping with my ex, didn't cheat. I have a decent paying job and I never finished high school, or even gotten my JED for that matter. Turns out, some employers will just take your word on your academic background. Now it's a big deal making sure new hires have a high school diploma, as they've really started cracking down on it. I just hope they don't decide to ask for proof of my diploma after being there for so long. Not my life, but an alt-right pastor in my area is married to my ex-girlfriend. I'm a woman. The wife in question offered to run away with me numerous times. Before I finally broke up with her, we had significant political disagreements. I had no idea she was married until I saw her standing behind him with their 2 kids. Months after we broke up, my partner is the only person who knows. Not life ruining, but I've worked at Bath and Body Works for approaching 2 years. I don't actually use shower gel or body wash of any kind unless I'm shaving my legs. Even then, before I worked there and got some free body washes, I just use conditioner. I only use it now for the sake of not wasting it. I truly find it completely unnecessary, and it dries my skin. Hot water is all I need to get clean. I admit I'm a fan of lotions and candles though. Yeah, you should probably use soap. I never actually took a behind the wheel driver's test. The person at the counter of the DMV when I was getting my license though, that my instructional permit was a license that I was trying to transfer into their state. So, they issued me a new license without a driver's test. I was a really bad driver for a while. I hate my family and want nothing to do with them. I rely on my parents for my car and for insurance. I can't really out and say I hate them, since that would open a bunch of loose ends. I just hate dealing with them. My dad has never once told me he was proud of something I accomplished on my own. He always has criticism for me. And if I ever show him I'm good at something he deflects to, well, I don't know anything about that, so I don't know. If you're really good at it, it would sting and hurt me if I wasn't already so used to that mentality. Nothing they do surprises me anymore, and if I ever get a large, stable income, I'm going to keep them at as far of a distance as I can without starting any problems. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe.